On my way here to school, a little more than a week ago, I had a chat with an interesting lady on the flight I was in. And when she got to know that I study at the Doon School, she couldn't stop asking me questions about this wonderful place. However, she told me she thought we were an elitist, exclusivist institution, accessed only by the business tycoons and the actors and the royalty and the big shots of this world. And for a moment I was disgusted. Disgusted at what the ruthless world could think of you despite you being the polar opposite. I paused for a second. I looked into her eyes and I told her a story about two boys who were the best of friends and occupied the room right beside my own. One of them came from easily one of the wealthiest families in this nation. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was raised in a mansion and his every wish was fulfilled just as he uttered it. He was his family's world and the world lay at his feet with the resources he had. The other was a fighter. He fought against his circumstance. He fought hard when all the odds were stacked against him. He wasn't from an extremely rich family. He didn't have the exposure so many of us here should be grateful that we ever had. But despite coming from backgrounds that frankly couldn't contrast more than they already did, I see these two, meal after meal, sitting together, talking to each other, sharing their deepest, perhaps their darkest secrets with each other, helping each other, drawing from the varied experiences that they'd had, standing up for each other. They are the closest of friends. I told her that is the beauty of this place. That is why this school is the best school in the country. At the end of my rather long and animated story, she apologized about making that comment, patted me on the shoulder and said, "My respect for your school has skyrocketed today. Discounting all the great infrastructure you have, all the great faculty you have, the great network you have, but just for that one thing, that you are judged on the content of your character and nothing else. That it doesn't matter where you come from, you are still a Dosco. For that and that alone, you're superior to any other school I've ever known." It was only later that I got to know that her husband had studied at Welham Boys. On my arriving here, I felt this warm surge of emotion on a chilly evening. The feeling of coming back home after a long time. For that is what we are truly at the end of the day. That is what those two boys in the room right beside mine own are. Family. We are brothers. We are sisters. We don't just have teachers who walk into our class and want to know about our lives only as much as would help them finish the course. We have guardians who will stand up for us when they feel they need to, who are involved in every moment of our lives, and frankly, who perhaps know us more than our parents do in these 6 years. That is our identity. We are not like any other school. We are not like the thousands of schools that open up every day with posh campuses and AC classrooms. Not like any other school where you care about nobody but yourself. We are family. A family where everybody has a stake in this great institution. And yet there are those amongst us who slice and dice us into factions. They divide us on the basis of our age, on the basis of what we study, in the basis of which house we're in. I have news for them too. There is no junior Doon School and no senior Doon School. There is one Doon School. There is no cool Doon School and uncool Doon School. There is one Doon School. There is no ISC Doon School and IB Doon School and IGCSE Doon School and ICSE Doon School. There is one Doon School. We are one. We are family. All of us. It was last Monday that I realized that the mantle of leadership in this great institution has now come into the hands of my firm. Now I know I'm no house captain, I'm no prefect, but I'm still a Dosco. And that means that it is my duty, no, it is my privilege to ensure that this institution stands up to become what it was always meant to be. Why? Because we owe that to this country. Because this school was founded to serve a new India, the free India. And it is the sweat and blood of Doscos that has served our country consistently for the past 83 years. It was Major Bhaskar Roy whose valiant efforts in defending this land earned him a Mahavir Chakra that embodies what Doscodom truly is. It was Mr. Bankar Roy who took it upon himself to establish the first smart village in our country, which is now going to become the Barefoot College, who tells us what an aristocracy of service can be. If there is one thing I want to see transformed in our already magnificent and beloved school, it is this. And this too before I hear the strains of Auld Lang Syne and find myself walking across this Rose Bowl, shaking the headmaster's hand and leaving. It is this. To see every member of our family considering themselves as one unit, standing up for each other, treating ourselves like brothers and sisters. For that is what we are at the end of the day. And we can do that by just doing one simple thing. And this is something that we are all so familiar with because we do it every day at our homes. By treating and accepting each other with our flaws. Because nobody is perfect. To, as a junior, know that your seniors, although they mean the best for you, aren't perfect. They can make mistakes because after all, they are only a few years older than you are. As seniors, know that our juniors have faced similar problems as we had at one point. So mentor them, even punish them if you have to, but always do it in their best interest. Because if all of us sitting here were to resolve to do that together, there is nothing that could stop us. In the words of William Ernest Henley, beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you.